We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about our eSIMs that we have used and our experience using them. We have so far used Saily and Airalo, and we have found one to be a very clear winner over the other.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with what an eSIM is, it is basically a digital SIM card that you can use pretty much anywhere in the world. There's many different providers out there that offer them. And in our case, we are using a global one that works in pretty much every country in the world. And the reason we use them is because, unfortunately, the cell phone coverage back home in Canada is amongst the most expensive in the world. So to have a plan that would allow us to use our phones and mobile data and stuff while we're traveling would cost an insane amount of money. I think the roaming fees alone are like $15 a day.
Is it a day or a couple hours?
No, it's per day, yeah.
But it's still stupid.
It's absolutely ridiculous how much that would cost. So our solution for that is to use an eSIM. As Cory said, we started off with Saily initially, and then since then we've switched to Airalo. So we're going to go over the pros and cons of each and let you know why, and obviously let you know which one we prefer.
So I guess it makes sense to start with Saily. We initially started traveling with Saily. So the reason that we did that was because we were going to be spending most of our time in Southeast Asia. That was what we had planned on. So we bought the 6-month Southeast Asia one.
It's a regional plan that covers pretty much all of Southeast Asia.
And it worked great until it didn't.
Yeah. So Saily's advantage is that their pricing was quite competitive. It was definitely cheaper for each of us to have, an eSIM with them. It was valid for 180 days. It was good for all of the Southeast Asian countries.
I think Cambodia was the only exception.
Yeah, I think you're right. It didn't include Cambodia. But at any rate, it was still price point-wise very competitive. And you know what? The network speed was a little slow maybe sometimes, but it was bearable. It wasn't, any huge issue. Where we had problems was pretty much every time we flew to a new country, it stopped working. And that is where that starts to expose the weakness in their platform, is getting someone to actually help you is difficult.
That's not completely true. I mean, they did help us because I was able to reach out to the customer service, and there was somebody actually on hand helping us, and we did figure it out each time. The frustration was that even though they helped us, they made us jump through a lot of hoops to get that help, and it was consistently the same, take pictures of the same setting on your phone and send it to them, and it was very tedious.
It was, yeah. So basically they would have you, once you did get someone on the chat through the app, they'd, ask you to go through a bunch of steps, and at each point, you'd have to do a screenshot of your settings and send that to them so that they could see what you're doing, and back and forth like that, which is, well and good, except you're now landed in a new country, you're at the airport, no mobile data because your eSIM stopped working, which means you're on public Wi-Fi at an airport, which, if it's even available, is notoriously slow. So none of this process goes very smoothly. And it's always something to do with, one of the carrier settings or which mobile operator you're using, because their network doesn't always connect to the right one, and all these different settings on your phone that have to be updated each time. And honestly, we found it to be just a headache every time we landed in a new country, and having to do that.
Yeah, and the customer service, as much as they were there for you, they didn't do anything to try to promote their service of being like, hey, this happened. Okay, we'll give you something for your inconvenience. So we kind of just abandoned them when we got close to like the end, and we decided to try Airalo. So the reason we decided to switch over to Airalo, they do the 20 gig full global service. And we were like, okay, well, we have to go over to Europe anyway. This will save us from having to buy individual eSIMs, and we'll just trial it and see how well it works. It has worked out really well.
Yeah, the global plan worked out for us because, like Cory said, at that time we were going to be traveling, so we didn't want another 6-month regional plan and to buy, a couple months in Asia, then a month in, Turkey, and then, in Romania or wherever we were going to be would end up costing a lot more. The global plan basically covered us for everywhere we were going to be going. Pricing wise, it was a little more expensive per month, not going to lie. And also the amount of data is a little bit more restrictive. 20 gigabytes for, I think it's valid for up to a year.
1 year, yeah.
Is fine if you're a light user, which luckily we tend to be able to be on, free Wi-Fi most of the time. But if you're a heavy mobile data user, 20 gigs is not going to get you very far. So price point wise, that would be quite bad. What we have found though with Airalo is the network speeds have been consistently better. With Saily, we were always only ever on 4G. We couldn't turn on 5G on the network or it would basically stop working. With Airalo, pretty much anywhere we go, we're on 5G network speeds, so it's been quite a bit faster. And with one exception, anytime we've been changing countries, we have had zero problems. It's been a very smooth, you turn on your phone in the new country and it just works. And that right there, for us, makes a world of difference.
So one of the weaknesses of Airalo is their customer service.
Yes.
They don't seem to have any staff members or something. I'm not really 100% sure because you only get the Autobots and you only get transferred to a person 4 to 6 hours after your complaint, which doesn't really help you in the moment. Luckily, due to our time with Saily, he's become pretty much an expert on how to troubleshoot. So we've had really good luck with that because he can go in and fix it. By the time they've gotten back to us, we have already fixed the issue. But on the flip side, due to that, anytime we run into problems, they always offer us $5-10 commission or whatever,
credit on your account
on the account. So that will come in handy in the future.
Yeah, so the one time that Airalo failed to work as soon as we landed was here in Romania. That caused us some grief at the airport because there was also no Wi-Fi at that airport for some reason. We ended up having to take a taxi, and it was during the taxi ride I was still fiddling with the settings on the phone, and I eventually figured it out. Again, because of all the time spent troubleshooting with Saily, so I learned a thing or two. But yeah, Cory's absolutely correct. Their customer service, realistically, a little bit worse than Saily.
I would say quite a bit worse.
Yeah, you end up dealing with the chat bot, and it takes a long time to get through all the different prompts for them to even schedule a call back to you or to schedule a live agent to come help you, and that takes hours, which generally that's way too late. So not great, but again, as Cory pointed out, they have been much more proactive in trying to retain our loyalty by offering, a small amount of credit to offset, just to kind of reimburse you for the inconvenience of not having access to your eSIM. And so I feel like they do a much better job there with the loyalty side of things. So bottom line is, at this point, we are still on Airalo, and I feel like unless something drastically goes wrong with them, we're probably going to continue to be with Airalo moving forward.
So just to put it in perspective, we bought on how easy it is to make the 20 gigs last. We bought our eSIM on April 8th, 2025. It expires April 8th, 2026. And because free Wi-Fi is so easy to come by, we only have 12 gigs left, and that's for both of us.
Sorry, we have 12 gigs left, not only. We've only used 8 gigabytes in that time since April, whatever you just said.
Yeah, so we still have 6 months, so we're good.
Yeah, so we're easily going to run out the 12-month period and still have data left. So if you're a light user, it's definitely going to be enough. And even though it's a fairly expensive upfront cost, when you average that out over 12 months, it's actually not too bad at all. But
so I'm hoping that this video comes in handy and that you are able to make a choice that is very helpful for you. That's our goal, is just to kind of help you make those decisions.
Now, we're not sponsored by Saily or by Airalo. These are our opinions based on our own usage of these services. Obviously, we prefer Airalo, and if you want to give them a try, we do have a referral link down in the description below. If you use that link to make your first purchase, we'll each get a little bit of extra credit towards airtime.
So that's why there's 2 links. One is me and one is Wallace.
But we're not going to tell you which one's which, so it'll be a game and see who gets more referrals. But yeah, so if you want to give Airalo a try, use that link and get a little bit of extra credit. So thanks very much for watching. We hope you've found some value in this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up to give us a like and make sure you subscribe.
And join us in other videos for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.